Stephen. Run of four losses in a row comes to a shuddering halt today. How thankful and how happy are you after that one?
Yeah, I'm just happy they followed the game plan tactically. Yeah, our execution at times was interesting, but our desire, togetherness. I'd love to see some of the stats and some of the work rate there. Like Bronte True, I don't know, girl just ran herself into the ground. Fantastic. Very proud of him. It was very, very difficult sort of to juggle. Your captain can only play 45 minutes, and Emma can only play 45 minutes, and Cassidy can only play an hour. And we handed out starting debuts to Misha and to Clancy, and I thought they were both exceptional. I thought Bronte ran her absolute tail off. And, everyone got to see what I've seen in Teresa Morrissey for a long time. And, she's worked really, really hard. It's been, I'd say, 6 or 7 years in the making for her to make that debut. And I'm very proud of her. And, she showed everyone what she's got in the locker there today. So, yep.
You spoke about wanting to see the mental discipline, and I think we saw it in Spain's, particularly the back four. I thought Tian grew into the game really well. She looked probably with half an hour to go and kept finding other levels. And then the centre-back pairing of Oni Zog and Misha Anderson. What did you, particularly against a striker like Sandra, who was their biggest threat, who was, being cheered on by more than half the crowd every time she got it.
Yep.
What did you make of that defensive performance?
Oh, I think they were all very good as a little tactical switch. I think Johnston looked a bit more comfortable tonight. McKenna, once she sort of got over those original errors that she made, I think she really lifted. I thought Zog's performance was exceptional, given that she spent most of the game on a yellow card. If you put that into context, pretty difficult. And Misha's just a very good organiser, and she's got a very good outlook of the game. And what I was particularly pleased with Misha is she just did the dirty stuff. Put her head where people didn't want to put it, and I think that was probably telling for us. Look, I just feel like it was a good team performance. It wasn't anything flash. Yep, we get it. We didn't have a lot of possession, but I think there were moments for Wellington to have effective possession, but we really limited that. I feel like we turned 90 minutes of effective possession for them into 70 minutes of effective possession, and then I think that's not an easy thing to do. Yeah.
And you kind of alluded to it, but the switch from a back three to a back four. Do you think it almost helped settle players' nerves a bit? Do you think that they obviously adapted to it quite well, over the course of 90 minutes? When did you make that decision?
Look, I feel like the back the 3-5-2 that we were playing the first 3 games was really effective for us. I just feel like the switch this week wasn't really about the fact that the 5 wasn't working. It was more about the personnel we wanted on the park. So then I just tried to balance the team up in that sense. So I had to make some sacrifices there. Sato came out of the team. She accepted it very well. And then, just look at Susan. Like Susan's been pretty good in my opinion. She's got her doubters. But, she comes out of the starting side, takes it like a professional, and then scores the winner for us. So there was lots to like about all of that. And then, Sato comes in midfield and does a job for us. So, it's just a good team performance. And look, I'm sure Bev would have her view on the game, and I don't blame her for that. They would definitely be walking away feeling as though they should have got something from the game, but that's football, and we've been in that position many times, most notably the Brisbane game and the Sydney FC game. So I think a little bit of Lady Luck was on our side a little bit tonight. But, sometimes styles make fights, and I think that was the case tonight.
Would you say that front three today was probably the most dangerous that you've faced this season? The interchange, the movement, the pace, and also the physical power that the 3 of them had seemed to cause a lot of problems, especially in the second half.
Yeah, well, I got to talk to Bev about what they're eating over there because they're just absolute land of the giants. That team, dead set. Like I walked out of the tunnel to go to the bench. I was like, goodness gracious me, right? So, and you know, to their credit, they've invested in their program and they've come here early and they've trained here and they've acclimatised, and I think that they handled all of that really well. And yes, they threw plenty at us, and on another day, they probably score one and set us back. But for some reason, we got a foot in at the right time, and Teresa was determined between the sticks. And you know, I would really like to see the defensive stats. You know, we can talk about possession stats and XG and all the fancy stuff, but I think I'd like to see our clearances and blocks, intercepts. I'd like to see all those stats because I think that was pretty good tonight.
You mentioned as well that you've got players that are still working their way back from injury. Have you got any concerns going forward to the next game that those players have either been set back or you've got others that have got knocks, or you think you've got a clean bill of health coming out of this one?
Well, we stuck to the plan, what the medical team asked me to do. You know, obviously you don't want to be taking Dalton off in a game where it's 0-0. But, you know, off she comes. And, you know, she's just, like, she knew that was the plan the whole week, and then she's still got the shits. That's just the person that she is, which is great. And then it gave Emma a situation where she's going, oh, hang on, I've got to step into those shoes. So I think she lifted in that capacity, which is great. Look, I think we look okay. We have to obviously see if anything comes out of it. I think Bronte's got a little bit of a calf. She pulled a calf there at the end of the game. I don't know how many Ks she ran, so it's not a massive surprise. So no, I think it looks okay. And then I think we've got 7 days to prepare for Adelaide. So, yeah.
And what does this mean now for the morale of the squad? Looking at the scenes at the end of the game, the contrast between the two teams could have been greater. You think this is going to be a kickstart now after what has been a disappointing 3 or 4 games for you?
I kept saying to them the last 2 weeks, and they're probably sick of my voice by now. But I've told them that if we outwork teams, we put ourselves in the match. And, you know, that was out there tonight, and they followed that. I think it is a morale-boosting win, definitely, but we have to be real. We're 2 and 4, so we have to, we've got to just be humble and concentrate on Adelaide, because I don't think Adelaide's coming here to, give us a hug next week.